Cuando digáis. Yeah? Well, hello to everybody. I am Francisco, and my project is titled Where Do Pelicans Go? Here is the structure we are going to follow, the introduction to the topic, the objective that we want to achieve, the methodology, how we are going to get it, the timeline to do it, a budget associated to the project, the expected results, what we think we are going to get, the Erasmus impact, which is the relation with this Erasmus, and also the bibliography I have used. Well, we have to start about what do we know. We are going to travel to Senegal, to the Sahel that we have listened to previously, to the Senegal River, that is the natural border between the Republic of Senegal and Mauritania. It's in the north of Senegal, and it's a river that separates both countries for 700 kilometers. And here inside we can find the National Park of Youth. It's a national park in a wetland with a lot of birds, more than 1.5 million birds that we can find them every year. And there we can find an island called the Pelican Island, where they breed there more than 3,000 couples of pelicans. We know that they are there, they arrive in September, they put the eggs around October, by December we have the chicks, and approximately by the end of February they disappear. But we don't know where do they go. We know that they arrive in September and go on February, March approximately, but the rest of the year we don't know where they are. If they are in other places close to that national park, far away, we don't know. And we should know it, because what we have seen before, it's important to monitorize the biodiversity in the national park, because in that one we have endangered species. So if the pelicans go to other places and we don't know what is happening there, they can import illness like the avian influenza, a flu that could affect species like the aquatic warbler, for example. And also to see the pelicans in the national park is one of the most important activity, most touristic, that gives more money to that area, to that region. So if they want to have pelicans to make money to protection and conservation in the area, they need the pelicans. So if they are protected there inside, but they are not protected outside because we don't know where do they are, so they can be killed in other places, and it's like, well, there are no pelicans here even being protected here. So we want to know where do pelicans go during non-breeding season. Where do they are? Meanwhile, they are not in the national park the rest of the year. And we are going to be located in the north of Senegal, in the border with Mauritania, in the Sahel. Now we know which is the Sahel. So this one is the national park. It's a wetland with a lot of lagoons, canals, and this one is the island of pelicans. It's like a triangle that we can see through the satellite, and it's white for the amount of pelicans we can find there. We will be in the Sahelian savanna, the typical we have seen in the king lion in the film, with a lot of acacias and shrubs. Also, we have fresh water in the Senegal River, all the lagoons. We can find tamarisk and reed beds, and the climate there is very warm, it's subtropical and stationary. It can range more or less in the north of Senegal 200 millimeters per year, but it's very stationary. Mostly of them fall in June, July, and August. Also, we can find a lot of birds, a lot of animals like egrets, monkeys, jackals. We can find the pumbas and cormorants. But we are going to be focused on the pelicans, the great white pelican. We can find them in Europe, in the Danube Delta, in Romania, in some parts of Asia, breeding there, also in the India, and some parts of Africa, in the Sahel, in the tropic, until South Africa. And in that part is where they are when they are migrating in that area. But we don't know exactly all the colonies, where do they go, if some of them stay all the year in the same place, others migrate. but we don't have all this information. And as you have seen here in this video, it's a bird with fish. They live in groups and they make a circle when they found a group of fishes, and all of them go inside the water to catch them, to maximize the captures. There are almost no difference between male and females during the breeding season. The males have a pink, face is more pink, but they are very similar. These are the measures between 140 and 180 centimeters long, the peak between 30 and 47 centimeters, and the white between 260 centimeters and 360 centimeters, and approximately 10 and 20 kilos is their weight. So we will have to catch them. When we are going to go? In January, when the chicks will be bigger. We will need 10 days in Senegal, but the campaign only, the sampling will take only 3 days. We have to catch at least 30 individuals, and we will do it during the night to reduce the stress for the animals. We will use hooks, butterfly nets, fish nets as well. The idea is to arrive, the first day to Senegal. The second day we arrive to Dakar, the capital, and the second day we travel to the north. The third day we make a prospection in the area to evaluate how to capture the pelicans. 3 days of sampling. Then we return to Dakar. We need 2 more days to prepare all the bureaucracy, the permissions, and the last day we return to Spain. The first thing that we have to do once we catch the pelican is to ring them. We have to put the ring. Later, we have to take some biometrics, the length of the wing, the peak, the weight, all the information that we take, because there's not a very studied species. And once we have all this information, we are going to start with the project by itself. And we need 2 feathers of each pelican. With these 2 feathers, we can know where they were 6 months ago. We take an old feather that appeared approximately 6 months ago, when we know that they are not in this area, in the national park, and a new feather that appeared during the period that we're inside the national park. So we cut the last 10 centimeters of each of them. We put them inside a plastic bag with a silica gel, something to dry the samples because the humidity is very dangerous, and we have to put them 24 hours inside a fridge at minus 20 degrees. And must be the bags identified. Once we have the feathers, we return to Spain, and we have to go to a laboratory of stable isotopes. It's a kind of laboratory that we can use to know this information. I have chosen the Biological Station of Doñana in the city of Sevilla, in the south of Spain. And there, what they will do will be to clean the feathers, to crush them, and finally analyze them. Okay, they are going to analyze them. What can we get? The feathers are created thanks to the nutrients that have eaten the pelicans. So according to what they have eaten, they have the elements, the material to create the feathers. If they eat in a place that has different elements, different quality of the water than everything that they construct, the feather will be different. So once we have crushed the feathers, we can analyze the proportion of the stable isotopes of hydrogen, the first and the second. Do you remember chemistry from the high school, the periodical table? We remember the hydrogen is the most simple element. We know that it has only a positive charge, big, and a negative, small charge. But this is the most common hydrogen we can find in the world. But also there is another form of hydrogen, a bit heavy, with another negative charge. So we, using the proportion of these two isotopes from the same element, we can say, okay, we have a relation. We can rank it and say, okay, we have a level of one number. We can look to this map that is published in scientific reports, and say, okay, that's level, it says that one feather is from that area and the other feather from the other area. So the new feather must have the values that we can find in the National Park of Huge, in that area here, because it appears there, and the other one, the old one, we don't know, maybe closer to that area, maybe in other parts of Africa, is what we want to check. if they have the same composition from the same place. If they have different composition, different proportion of elements, one's from jute, from Senegal, and the other one, we will see. And now, a very important thing, all the permission that we need to do all the project. This project is now more or less in course because Catalina and Guillem are going to Senegal. They have gone. I went with them in December, so they have the research agreement that is given by the Office of National Parks of Jute. So once we have it, we need a week for have the permission of the biological station to the authorized recipient certificate to say the laboratory, okay, here you can analyze these samples. Once we have it, we have to contact to the Spanish Ministry of Agriculture for the import authorization for biological materials to say, okay, we allow you to put inside Spain the feathers. Once we have all this permission, this one takes 3 months approximately, we can travel to Dakar, to Senegal, and the first day we have to go to the Office of National Parks to get more permissions. We need a lot of them. One for the wildlife export permission, because we need the permission to take the sample, the feathers, out of Senegal. Another one, the CITES export permit, because the CITES is like the convention of the traffic of animals. Some of them we can buy them, others not. So to certify that everything is okay with the pelican, they don't come from illegal traffic. And also official veterinary certificate of Senegal to say, okay, it doesn't have any, they don't have illness, they don't have parasite, it's not a problem from the global health, not antivirus, not COVID inside the feathers. So we start to prepare all this data, all this permission, and then we travel. We go to Jute, to the national park, to start the field work, because it takes approximately a week. So we arrive, we start the bureaucracy, and meanwhile they're preparing, we go to take the samples. During a week, once we finish the field work, the last day, we have to talk with the conservator of the National Park of Jute, and he will give us the official collection certificate to say, okay, you have taken that number of feathers from this individual, everything has been okay. Once we have it, we return to Dakar to show the feathers, and they will say, okay, we have everything prepared, now we check the last thing with the feathers, and it takes approximately 3 days, we have all the permission, and now we return to Spain. Once we have it, once we have the samples, we have to analyze them in the laboratory. It takes approximately between 8 and 12 weeks. Once we have it, we have to process the data. Well, we know, I will process the data because I'm sure that they are not going to do it. And it will take approximately a month, and we will need another month. I will need another month to the writings and the informs of all the information to say, okay, are from the same place, not. Now the budget. This is a budget prepared for a ringer and a biologist, because we need someone who is allowed to catch the birds and ringing them, and also another one, a biologist who has all the knowledge to take the birds, how to take the feathers, how to do all that things. So here we have the field equipment, the gloves, the bags, the nets, the hooks, all the material, how cost approximately, the rings. Also for logistics, the flights between Spain and Senegal, they are approximately 200 euros per flight. So one person go and return for 100 euros, two person 8. All the transport between Dakar and the national park, because it costs half of the country, accommodation for during these 10 days in Senegal, and all this, everything that we have to pay to the national park, to the guards, because they have to be all the time with us, because in Senegal, the national park, we must be supervised by the guards there. They are militaries, they manage the national park, and we must be all the time with them, and we have to pay all the day with them. The cost of the analysis, and also some money for the permissions, the agreement, etc. Later, 15% for unexpected events, because that kind of projects in that kind of countries always have unexpected events. We have them in the previous campaign. So the approximated cost in Senegal of the project will be 5,570 euros approximately. Which is the result that we expect? We suppose that some of the pelicans will stay in lagoons closer to the national park, maybe in the south of Senegal, in the Parc National of the La Langue de Barbarie, is another national park, another wetland in Senegal, maybe in the south of Mauritania, in Gambia, but we think that some of them as well, they travel all across Africa to the big lakes of Africa, the Lake Victoria, the Lake Edward, because there, there are a lot of pelicans there and they are not seen in other places close in Senegal. And in that part, there are always a lot of pelicans. We know that they don't go to the Iberian Peninsula because they are not registered there, like a lot of birds do from June to there. Pelicans not. So we think that some of them stay in lagoons closer to the national park and others travel all across Africa. So what is the relation of this project with the Erasmus? As we have listened before, we know that the migratory of birds is very important understanding to control the climate change. Ringing, monitoring the biodiversity, the birds started when in Germany appeared more than 100 years ago a stork with a gun in the neck. The stork didn't die but arrived to Germany and they say, where has been this animal? And they started to know, okay, the storks travel to Africa. So it is where starting the researching of migration, of ringing, and they started to ring thousands of birds and recapturing a lot of them. Monitoring all this information, we can know where the animals go, how to take care of them, which is the relation with us, because if there is desynchronized all the process of migration, they arrive earlier, arrive later, maybe they can take us more parasites that they won't arrive in that age, in that moment, because the climate is warmer or is colder. So it's also important for our health, the community health, to take control of the migratory, of all the migration. And we had the opportunity in Italy to go to the ringing station of Sandro, Oasi Costiera, and I had the opportunity there to know the importance of monitorize all the migrations in the world, because there they have recaptured a lot of birds that were ringed in Senegal, were ringed also in Stockholm. So it's not for pelicans, but it's important to monitorize all this information. And it's good not only to have them in Italy, in Spain, in the developed countries, because we must know what is happening in all countries, like Senegal, like Chad, like Nigeria. They have not resource there. They have not too much money to allow all this research. So I think that we should implement activities in that kind of countries, because everything that happens in Africa affects to Europe because all this migration. This one is the bibliography I have used. And that's my presentation. Muchas gracias. Grazie mille. Ciao. Teşekkür ederim. C'est fini. Does any of you have any doubt? Something to say?
I have a question.
Okay.
I don't know anything about pelicans besides what you see in movies, but like, do you think? Oh, actually, what do you think? Do they go also to South America, or do they not? Like, it's a question. Like,
they don't. I think that they don't travel. I don't know if any bird can. Well, some of them can travel to the north to the south, but I don't know any bird that cross from Africa to South America. In America, there are pelicans, but there are other species. No, they are different species. In America, they have 2 or 3, I think. In Africa, they have also 3, 4 species. In Asia, in Australia. Some in Senegal, we have the great white pelican, but also sometimes in the colony can be mixed with another species of pelicans, Pelicanus cristatus. I don't remember exactly the scientific name, but also make groups with other species of pelican as well. But they are species completely. They are different species of pelicans. It's not like pelicans. Oh no, there's a lot of species.
Thank you.
Anything else?